We also are very pleased to welcome our Deputy Minister, Ms. Pinky Kekana. Thank you so much for the time. I would also like to welcome the DG for Communication and Digital Technologies, Mr. Robin Kuna, who has also joined us. We are in the rather unusual situation of having to distance our most important stakeholders from us. So for those of you who are able to see it, we have created some physical distance between all the people in the room, including our Minister, our Deputy Minister, and our DG, as well as the MTN South Africa CEO, Mr. Godfrey Motsa, who you're going to hear from just in a few minutes. Today is a first for me in my fairly long career with media. It's the first time I've invited media to a media conference and then asked media not to attend. So I would like to start by thanking very much the print media and the online media that really heeded our call that only broadcast media attend this media conference. Thank you for tuning into the webcast. Thank you to those of you that have arranged interviews after the event with our CEO. We do appreciate that this is not an ideal time, but this is certainly what is necessary in these complex times that we're facing at the moment. We have limited the numbers in this room to less than 50. We fully sanitized the room before we started. And we're practicing what we at MTN like to call physical distancing. Because in these difficult times, social distancing is actually what we don't need. We need physical distance because there's been no greater time for us to remain social. But that social needs to remain through the technology that we use. It's how we talk to each other, it's how we FaceTime, it's how we do a webcast with our media. We need to remain distant, but we certainly do need to remain social and in touch. So thank you so much for all of you for making the effort. This is a really important day for us. This is the part of a long transformation pricing journey that we started 3 years ago. And this comes on the back of some really successful and ongoing discussions with the Competition Commission. These are difficult times, and we felt we needed to make this announcement as soon as possible because it's needed for our customers, and you'll see there are some particular solutions that we're bringing to the market that will be particularly helpful in this time as we all deal with COVID-19. I am going to be taking questions from the media that have tuned in via the webcast. Journalists, you are welcome to type up your questions in the box that is provided on your screen, and we will get to them later. I will pick them up off this iPad, and then we will make sure that we try and deal with as many that we can as possible. So thank you again, and I'm now going to ask the CEO of MTN South Africa to join me up on stage. Please welcome Godfrey Motsa.
Testing. Protocols observed. My minister, my sister, my deputy minister, my sister, my DG, and my brother, and all the executives, and all the employees, and all the MTNers. And special mention and appreciation to the media that's basically joining us. I think I'm not going to repeat what Jackie has already said around the logistics in the era of COVID-19. But be that as it may, the show goes on. Today, I'm basically going to cover a couple of these items. Talk about South Africa, the telecom space. We talk about our response to the Competition Commission Data Service Market Inquiry. We're also going to give an update on what MTN is doing on COVID-19. At the core at MTN is our belief that everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. That's what really gets us pumped up in the morning. Traditionally or historically, we're a telephony company, and we evolved into telephony and internet, and we moved into mobile money, financial inclusion, and digital services. We really believe that these are critical tools in the 21st century for you to progress. No country can progress in the 21st century when it is not connected. And we wake up every day to make sure that everyone gets that opportunity. If you have to unpack it a bit more from an internet perspective, we call it the Internet for All manifesto. These are not just slogans, my honorable minister. These are really our beliefs, and every day we wake up and we show up and we try to make these things real. When we say the internet has to be available to everyone, that's why today 58 million out of the 59 million or 60 million South Africans have access to 4G in South Africa in the MTN network. When we say it can be used by everyone, that's why we make sure it's available from a video perspective, from a text perspective, from different language perspective. That's why we launch services like Ayoba. That today is able to provide vernacular languages as well as English and Afrikaans. When we say it's affordable, that's why in the MTN network today, you can go onto the menu and you can buy a gig as low as 30 rands. No hidden pricing, no segmentation, no partitioning, open market. 30 bucks. From 30 bucks, that's what we're basically selling today. We are still pushing it down. And then we also believe that the internet has endless use. Today, if you're armed with a smartphone and a browser network, you cannot be bored. You cannot get lost. You cannot be uninformed. You cannot even be lonely, because there's Google Maps, there's Tinder, there's TV, there's Facebook, all basically powered by the browser network. So this is really our manifesto on the network, on the internet. Being more specific for today, here are highlights of what basically came out of the Data Service Market Inquiry by the Competition Commission. First point made was that the prices must fall. And then there was a recommendation of between 30 to 50%. We give that thumbs up because we believe we have actually satisfied that. There was further a move to say we need to flatten the curve because the entry-level price points were disproportionately more expensive than the big ones. Again, we're giving that thumbs up that we have actually improved the steepness of the curve. We're actually flattening the curve. And the third one was that people must get free data. When this was said, we couldn't even believe it was possible. But we've got great geniuses at MTN. We have found a solution to provide free data to all of our customers, 29 million of them. There was also a push that public benefit organizations, they need to be zero rated. I remember during the voice era, which still exists today, the concept of toll-free. This is basically the same concept of toll-free, but just now working on data. So we have raised our hand, and we'll be doing a lot of that as well, and I'll unpack that a bit later. And then finally, give the customers more information around where they are spending money. Give the customers clear information, the best deals that they can actually have. No obfuscation, please. So we have significantly improved on that as well. But at the core for us is that you can't do these things if you do not have a world-class network. I stand firmly today to say the MTN network is the best network in South Africa, is the best network in the continent. It's a world-class network. It is built here by our people. Did mention that 96% of our population enjoy 4G network today. My honorable minister, I tried to find a town in the Eastern Cape. So my regional director in the Eastern Cape told me that in Lusikisiki, we have 4G. So when we say from Sentin to Soweto, and now we're also adding Lusikisiki as well, everywhere people are really enjoying the network. And we give you the commitment that we're not basically going to stop that. The other important point to be brought into everybody's attention is that the telecom market is a capital-intensive business. We're not saying this thing because we're bragging. We're saying this thing because it's a reality. And everybody has to understand that you need to put billions on the ground for the network to basically work. At MTN, we're looking at this thing as a decade horizon, almost like a moving decade horizon. In the last 5 years, we have spent over 50 billion rands. The money that we take from customers, we build the infrastructure. And in the last 5 years, over 50 billion rands have basically gone in building this world-class network. It doesn't stop though, you run every day. Yeah. The second part is the next 5 years, we have pledged 50 billion rands. That was done last year at the Presidential Commission, Presidential Investment Summit. Looking at the prices, I started in this job 3 years ago. And Minister Kwele was the minister by then. And my sister Stella was the deputy minister. The most important message they gave to me, drop the prices, reduce the prices. I am happy to report to you, Minister, that when I started to where I am today, 3 years later, the effective rate, the price per megabyte in the MTN network has gone down by 76%. The beauty about this business, when you drop the prices, you drive elasticity. When I started, an average prepaid customer was using 610 megabytes of data. Today, they're using almost 1.5 gigs. The 1.4 that we have today, 1.5, is still under-indexed. You can't change the world. You can't compete with that kind of a volume. We need to be shooting for 5 gigs. And we give the commitment that we'll continue investing in the network to expand capacity. And I am super confident that this year we are going to get spectrum because we need the investment and we need the spectrum. Let me be clear. We have made the most significant progress on the issue of spectrum today in the whole history. We have been talking about spectrum for over a decade, but the most progress I am feeling is basically this year. And for that, Minister and also ICASA and everybody else, I have to thank you. Going to the headline, what are we doing on the 30-day bundles? The first point is the prices are dropping up to 50%. As an example, the 1 gig that you bought for $149 or you were buying for $149 is now going to drop to 99 bucks. The 99 rands is the maximum we are going to charge per gig. There will still be some prices lower than that, but that's like our ceiling. The second part is this is not anti-poor. This is not discriminatory. So it's the money in the pocket theory. If you've got 10 bucks in your pocket, you want to buy a bundle, you'll be happy to see the significant reduction we've done there as well. So from 10 rands to 189 rands, we have basically put significant decreases. it's double digit. Then the last part is, when is this magic going to hit us? This is going to happen by the 15th of April. The minister was asking me as to why not the 1st of April. I didn't want to say so. People will think it's an April Fool's joke, but the problem is the logistics are a bit of a challenge now with people working from home. So we're still trying to make sure that we get everything 100% on the 15th. The second part is the data lifeline. Put simply, the free data. Every day we are going to give 20 megs for free. Mahala ha. And those who can count, is 600 megs a month. It's the same megs a month given for free than the megs that people were paying for 3 years ago when I started in this job. What are you going to do with that free megs? With the Ayoba chat, which is basically the MTN WhatsApp, if I have to put it simply. The MTN WeChat, to put it simply. You are able to send text messages. You're able to send pictures, videos, audio files, have news channels, especially on sports. There's even a dedicated channel on COVID-19 on the news channel. It doesn't stop there. We'll provide free internet browsing from midnight to 5 a.m. Every day, by just waking up with a yellow SIM card, you will have 20 megs of data. Christmas really does arrive before 25th of December. This is just one of the creative illustrations that we'll have. My minister, we can't do these things and hide because we want people to know about it. Today, we launched this last year. We already have over 500,000 customers on it. People love this product. And now we're going to start advertising it because we can't say we're giving free things and we're hiding things. So there's no better ambassador than our winning champion, captain. On the public benefit organization, we try to be a bit clear on this one because at the moment we zero rate a lot of sites, but people do not know the structure. It's almost like you have to know someone, or you have to be lucky, or you have to be pushy. We are saying moving forward at MTN, we'll zero rate up to 500 sites. Up to 500 unique sites. You can say up to 500 different entities. These will be available to all our MTN customers, up to 29 people. And most importantly, this will have enough volume so that you can do something. We are giving 500 megs, half a gig of data every month, every time, which means for a year, you're going to get 6 gigs for free. So it's free Ayoba for individuals and entities up to 500 sites, and we're able to give 500 megs of that data valid for the whole month. We have introduced categories, my minister, so that we don't zero rate one sector of the society and leave the other one. Health, especially public hospitals, will be in the category. The TVET colleges, I think there's around 50 of them. We can't just be doing the universities and forgetting the colleges. So we're going to have that. The high school educational content. We are working with digital platforms, with basically e-learning providers to make sure that we basically help the high schoolers with zero-rated content. Employment websites, really very important. So they are reaching out to us, we are reaching out to them, so we can actually zero-rate them as well. And last but not least, most of the universities today, like your UCT, like your Walter Sisulu universities, are already zero-rated. We are giving it structure. We are saying from public health to public colleges to public universities to high schoolers, we will provide zero-rated content. So they can actually, they don't remain digitally disconnected. The last part is around transparency. 3 important questions customers are asking. What did I do with my money? What we're saying then, what are the last 5 bundles you bought? And how much was it? There is an illustration on that. What are the most affordable stuff they should get? You guys have got over, 500 or 300 offers out there. But what is really good for me? With all the artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, analytics that we have in the organization, we are taking the power of that and giving it as a benefit to our customers. So there's a clear list of the top 5 affordable bundles for your pocket. And this, what it means that what for you, Minister, you might be getting as your top 5 will not be the same maybe as the other people that basically work for you, because it's mostly based on the purchasing power. So the poor basically will have lower prices and the rich will get more value, but it tends to be bigger bundles. How do I get this information? Simple. *135#. Why 135#? Because that is the line that is used today for all customer queries when you have to self-care. Again, we didn't try to hide this thing. We put this thing so that the discoverability is there. So in summary, there is it. We are reducing the 30-day bundles by up to 50%. We are going to provide free data through the Iowa Data Lifeline. We are going to zero rate up to 500 unique sites. And we are going to provide greater transparency so people can see where they spend their money and they can know what are the most affordable bundles to buy. Going to the COVID-19 update, my minister. The most important thing from our side is the safety of our employees as well as our customers. Today, especially in this campus, more than half of the people are working from home. So we have really said, if you can work from home, you don't have to come here. And that's what is basically happening. We've also made sure that in our facilities, we've got all the sanitizers, we're measuring people's temperatures, and so on and so forth. Highly conscientized about this. The second part is we need to have a robust and a secure, resilient network. We are continuing with our rollout. We are continuing with strengthening the resilience of the network, because in times like this, you need a super strong network. So all hands on deck, making sure that we are building a strong, resilient network. The next part is around more affordable services. Today, we announced the cuts, but also in the coming weeks, we are going to be unpacking more affordable offers. Not just for prepaid this time around, but for businesses, whether it's a small business or it's a large enterprise, whether it's a contract customer or it's a prepaid customer. So for all our prepaid customers, for all our B2B customers, and also for our contract consumer customers, we are going to be offering basically more affordable bundles, basically moving forward. And then last but not least, around MTN as a caring organization, we have donated 3 million rands to the Siavula learning platform. The Siavula learning platform is mostly for high schoolers, so they can actually get access to educational content. And we are zero rating that. And we're actually talking to a lot of people because we are being approached, Minister, left, right, and center. The commitment from our side, our door will be open, and basically our heart is big and kind. So that's the end of me. Maybe I can just conclude the hitting point, I think the main points. We have responded to the data service market inquiry. these recommendations, these changes, we have worked together with the Competition Commission. And I really want to publicly acknowledge them for challenging us. And I also want to acknowledge the MTNers for responding so positively. Talking our employees, I'm talking our board, I'm talking our shareholders. It's very important for us to balance things. We've got shareholder expectations, we have customer expectations, and we've got government expectations. With what we have basically come out with these interventions, we believe we have found the right balance. Because at the end, we need to build a strong, sustainable MTN for a strong, sustainable South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Godfrey. Ladies and gentlemen, to the journalists that have tuned in, just a reminder that you're welcome to send through your questions and we will take that. To the viewers watching at home, just a little bit of a further explanation on the Siyavula Foundation that we have supported. The Siyavula Foundation is zero rated for all access and textbooks are available. It's an amazing resource. However, in addition to the zero rating, the 3 million rand has gone to make sure that grades 10, 11 and 12 are able to access the full services available from siyavula.com. And those services cover exam prep, test papers, the learning materials, the textbook, and it covers for ICT, CAT, and the physical sciences. So we certainly encourage all of those grades 10s, 11s and 12 that are currently working from home to please feel free to use that service to make sure that you stay well prepared. We're going to move on now to our guest of honor. Please welcome to the stage our Minister, Minister Stella Ndubeni Abrams.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Deputy Minister, the DG of Communications and Digital Technologies, the CEO, MTN South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who's here, and all those that could not join us but are part of the conversation that we're having today, good morning. Of course, as a policymaker, we are happy, as CEO. It is a long journey, as you said earlier. It is a journey that requires all of us to hold each other by hand. He outlined the fact that there's different expectations from the different stakeholders, but ours at all times is that seeks to make sure that they refer to as the customer, the person that we serve and services government gets to be happy and has access to all the services at all times. That's our mandate as government. But as we do that, we also have a responsibility to balance things in terms of ensuring that we do not kill the business sector. Hence, we say we also have a responsibility to create an enabling environment through the policy and regulation, which is why we get happy when our regulators really pay attention to the things that are affecting our public mandate. And therefore, we welcome the collaboration between MTN and the regulators. And as we probably welcome this contribution today, the CEO mentioned that we are faced with COVID-19, which therefore, as a person who's in the digital space, presents an opportunity to say, how do we work together with all those that are part of the portfolio to make sure that our people continue to receive the services that they're entitled to. People are aware that the country and the world is faced with COVID-19, but our children still need to have access to education. Our parents must have access to social grants, healthcare facilities, and everything that we give to them. And therefore, having this announcement by MTN really helps us to say at least there's going to be a shift and a positive contribution when we say government, businesses, and the society, let's all embark on social distancing, but let's tap into the utilization of the virtual services that we have. So now imagine if we were saying we're going to have virtual classrooms and then the cost of data is still high. This is why I'm saying for us it's a relief to say, whilst you are faced with this announcement again then comes. We are therefore looking forward, as CEO, with your big heart, as you announced, that when we knock on your door, in terms of the interventions that we will be seeking in order to help our people be part of the digital society, but of course to try to be the responsible and active citizens, you will open your doors. They are big, I've seen them. On behalf of the ANC government, I want to assure everyone that as government, we have taken a bold decision that this is a virus that we cannot only curb as government alone. We require everybody's input, and therefore we call upon all those that are in South Africa to play their part in minimizing the spread of the virus. And as I said, the announcement by MTN, as we'll be going in the coming weeks to distribute social grants, probably presents an opportunity also for ourselves to say, how do we minimize the spread whilst we're giving our people services, whilst we're considering education, as I said earlier. Whilst, again, I have journalists here with big cameras in front of me, how do we make sure that all of us do understand that at times we can all have these services virtually? CEO, I was hoping that when I come here, I would have the drones flying, this entire event broadcasted virtually, everybody having access on the phone, on TV, just to showcase that in South Africa we have the capabilities. And I'm mentioning those digital platforms because we're talking about the data cost or the data price falling, CEO. I don't know why do we say data must fall. We need data, but the price must fall. So as we do that, it is also important that we also, as employers and the people, we also protect those that bring the news to our lounges, those that bring this news to us in our cars and comfortable places, being the journalists themselves, that we should look into that as we call upon themselves to protect themselves, but also let's make sure that their working environment is also a safe one. And ladies and gentlemen, let me once more tell you that the ANC government loves you so much, and thank you, MTN. We are hopeful that by next week with the regulators, the Competition Commission and ICASA, we would have concluded everything from your side. But of course, as a policymaker, I am happy because the people of South Africa are getting a discount, are getting free services from yourselves. We do appreciate patriotic businesses. It is something that we take pride in as government to say we've come through a very painful past, but one thing that we're certain about, we're confident of our future, because it's the future that seeks to bridge the divide, a future that seeks to say it doesn't matter where you are, but you can get an opportunity to engage with all and access the services that you are supposed to access. We're going digital, South Africa. This is our time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. I'm going to ask our CEO, Godfrey, to join me up on stage just to answer a couple of questions from the media. I'd also like to, Minister, you'll be pleased to know this is being broadcast live, so we're very pleased that our media partners have really come to the party on this. So, Godfrey, I'm going to start with two of the same questions, one coming from Tech Central and one coming from Africa Connect. Do we actually have an agreement with the Competition Commission? And if we do not have an agreement yet, why have we made this announcement today?
What we are announcing today is the agreement or is the content that was worked together and agreed with the Competition Commission. So if you look at the findings around all those 4 areas, and you see the ticks, we tick on everything. So in the substance of what is being presented today, there is agreement. Of course, we still need to formalize the legalities around the agreement. That work is actually happening, and we're anticipating that work to close basically next week. Why are we announcing? We are announcing so that the customers can actually get the benefits, because what MTN and the regulators are working on is for the customers. So we need to make sure that our organization is preparing itself to deliver by the 15th. So that's why it's being announced today. It's announced today so customers can know that from next month, prices are falling, data prices is falling on the Posa network.
We have a follow-up question from Network 24. The question is around will the 20 meg of free data, which is available immediately on the Ayoba app from today, will the 20 meg free allocation only be available for Ayoba services?
No. From today, it's available for Ayoba service, but from the 1st of July, it's available for the internet as well. Remember how it works. You've got 20 megs of data. Then with those 20 megs of data, you've got text, you've got pictures, you've got video, and you've got audio files. You've got the channels, entertainment, as well as news, sports, etc. But from the 1st of July, we'll be able to also use for the entire internet. So open browsing of the internet.
An important component of Ayoba that we like to emphasize is around communicating between smartphones and feature phones. This is an important consideration. If you are an Ayoba user and you're sending a message to somebody who has a feature phone, the message will be received as a text message, and the reply from the feature phone will come back to the Ayoba platform, and that message will also be zero rated. So this is not something that is limited to only smartphone users. This is something that can genuinely be used, and we do believe that 20 meg will make a big difference, and as we said, it is in fact immediately available. There was a question again from Network 24. Does MTN expect a reduction in revenue, even if it's just a dip temporarily?
Yeah, it's a very important question, to be honest with you. If you look at the economics of the business, in the last 12 months, we had to deal with the out-of-bundle. The out-of-bundle was basically, was introduced March last year. So the prepaid business was anticipated to get back to growth because at least now we're no longer handling the out-of-bundle. So what this does, it pushes that out maybe by a quarter or so. So put simply, in the short term, you're basically going to see some reduction. But as I said, there's something called elasticity. You drop the prices, you increase the demand, you increase the volume, money returns.
Thanks, Godfrey. Just one final question. It has to do with spectrum and whether we believe that with the imminent release of spectrum, we'll be able to continue in this downward trend with regards to our pricing.
If you look at the future is digital, and the future cannot be 1.5 gigs a month. So the volume will go up, the prices will go down. And with spectrum, that's going to happen at a faster rate. And as I said earlier, I've never really felt more confident about spectrum than I do this year. And I'm not trying to say that because my minister and my DM, my DG is here. But this is basically based on all the discussions and the plans that we have seen around the release of the high demand spectrum for both 4G and 5G. So answer the question directly. Yes, prices will continue to fall. Yes, prices will fall faster with more spectrum that we're basically going to get.
Godfrey, just a final very useful question that might be helpful for us to answer. We spoke about a reduction in all our sub 1 gig bundles, and there's a request for the details of that pricing. Perhaps we can just explain with deference to the Competition Commission why we have chosen not to take that route by announcing today.
Yeah, we had a lot of debates because I wanted to show and tell all the prices that we've basically reduced, because something that should really be celebrated. Unfortunately, the Competition Commission, or the competition lawyers, not the Competition Commission, inside MTN, they say if you release all the prices when you're only going to be launching them by the 15th, that could be interpreted as pricing or market signaling or pricing signaling, and that's not basically allowed. So my top lawyer here, Graham DeFries, says you can only show one price point, sir, and then I chose to show the gig. but some of the prices are actually dropping more than the gig.
So we will look forward to bringing those prices to the public as soon as we're able to publish them and as soon as they become live. Ladies and gentlemen, that closes our media briefing for today. Thank you again for the media who tuned in and to our employees, and thank you very much for the viewers that have given us your time. Thank you and good morning.